Here we go.
All right, here we go. Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today?
We opened up a little early just in case anyone has questions.
Just to check volume level, can someone just respond? Because I'm not hearing any noise.
Hi.
There we
We
go.
can hear you
Okay,
really
I
well.
want to
Yeah.
make sure. It was
We're
so
trying to be
quiet. I
quiet.
got
We're trying
nervous
to be
there.
quiet.
And as the tech guy, you know, you want everything to run smooth, so.
I need to figure out how to do the music. I was thinking about it, but I don't have a Spotify account and people razz me for having the commercials.
Well, I could always sing, but we want to increase participation, not push people away,
Decrease.
so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So can we ask questions before we begin?
Absolutely. That's why we opened it up.
Okay. So yesterday I was reading about farming, and yesterday we actually talked about generating leads within our farm and sending newsletters and stuff. And on one of the Facebook pages, one asked, "How do you pick the neighborhood you're gonna farm?" And somebody answered that you look into how many flips happen in the neighborhood, like how often houses are sold in the neighborhood, and the more the better. How would I find information like this, that houses are selling more frequently in this neighborhood than another neighborhood?
Well, there's a few ways to do it, but I would suggest you want to use your multiple listing, your MLS service, and you can go in there, and if you actually pick a particular neighborhood, you want to put in all of the streets and see how many properties have sold, and you can put in a time frame. So you can say, like, for the last 5 years, how many properties have sold on this,
Is that
on this street in this area. You can even do it as a mapping
okay.
through MLS. So that's kind of a different class, but I would encourage you to take those classes on how to do searches and all of that. Are you newer?
No, I am newer. I started in April, but I am familiar with the searches. I didn't know that I should find them.
So that's what I would do. I would make sure you pick your, you want to pick your actives, under agreements, solds. Definitely look for expireds, because those will be opportunities right from the get-go. If something expired, even if it expired 5 years ago, if they never sold, they're a really good opportunity to have a conversation. And another way to pick out a farm is, within an area you live,
Yeah,
you know.
your neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can pick out a neighborhood. You can also farm around new listings, or, if a new listing comes on in an area that is really desirable and it's going to be sold quickly, that's a really good farming opportunity. And you don't even have to do that on your own listing or even on your office's own listing. You can really farm around that and say, hey, did you notice that this property came up and it actually had multiple offers and went under agreement, and people are looking to move into your neighborhood? So farm around those houses that are bringing multiple offers, because there are other people who are looking for those same houses.
Okay.
So you'll be surprised how many agents whose listing it is don't take that as an opportunity.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
One
you.
other thing I'd like to add to that is condo buildings. If you have condos or townhouse complexes near you, become the resident expert. You can pull up all the comps in those areas and focus on that particular building. If you have a building that has 30, 40, 60 units,
Yeah.
become the area expert in that condo complex. And it's actually really easy because you have all the comps right there in that complex. And then you can farm the people in there and be the resident expert. You don't even have to live there. And a lot of times there are agents who are living in here and they're not even doing that themselves. And then they wonder why all these property listings start hitting the market and they're not the agent. Well, they're not doing what they need to do. Let's see your name and your sign go up instead of theirs.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots and lots of ways to farm. And we're going to talk about some marketing pieces that you could actually put together about. That's what today is about.
Yeah.
So listen up. And I think it's 9:03. We're going to give people, we've got about 48 in the room. Does anyone remember how many participants you had yesterday?
80, around 80.
80? Okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
All right. So we can give just a couple more minutes, George, before we get started.
Sure.
Anyone else have questions? So, uh-oh. So Bruce had a problem getting in yesterday, being in the waiting area. And I don't know, it must have been something with the trainers, maybe a little technical glitch that they didn't see you, Bruce. But you can always find the recording. It usually takes about a day, but the recording will be on the KW New England YouTube page. And I believe it's also on the Facebook group for Ignite. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, make sure that you do that. You can ask your questions in between sessions while you're working on things. So, that's another way to watch if you happen to miss. So, and Melissa had a little technical difficulty yesterday too.
Yeah.
So again, just keep that in mind. I mean, technology is awesome, but it's not always 100%. And, just take your opportunity to, do your lead generation or something else, and then look for that recording the following day. Okay.
So we have 51 people in today so far.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions before we begin?
Now, if everyone can keep themselves on mute, and then if you have a question, you can raise your hand or you can come off mute. But then remember to mute yourself again. So if there's any background noise and stuff, no one else will hear it. Also, I'm going to be monitoring the chat room. So if you have questions as well, and you may want to ask in the chat room, please feel free to do so.
You can also raise your hand with the at the bottom of the screen. It gives you an opportunity to raise your hand. You can click that. Or, if there's if there's a question that's relevant as we're talking, feel free to pop in and ask. We will kind of at the end, if we're getting a lot of chat questions, we're not going to stop and just answer them all at the same time. Or, as they come in, if there's too many coming up. And at the end of each section, when we're asking for ahas, we'll definitely make sure that we hit all of your questions that we haven't answered. So currently we have 53 people on the call. And I want to ask you, before we get started, please, please, please engage and turn on your camera. We love teaching to people who have actual faces that are a little more animated, and it definitely helps in your learning by engaging with the people, being able to pop in real quick and ask a question and we can see who you are. So keep that in mind. I'd like everybody to have their camera on during the class. If you need to take a break to get a coffee, use the restroom, whatever, feel free to go ahead and do that. Just don't carry your phone with you into the restroom. We don't want to be there. That's the time we let you get off your camera. So, and I've been on some of these. People are getting ready for the day and we're in their bedroom as they're getting dressed, and just watch that. But for the rest of you, definitely please turn on your cameras. Okay. All right.
We have a question, Mawish.
Yes, I just joined the session today. It's my first day. I have a hard time finding when you just get started, it's your first month and you don't know where to find listings, where to like generate leads and all that stuff. So I've been searching through internet, and I can know that there is a RedX, or there are some other apps you need to subscribe to get expired listings and for sale by owners contact numbers. And then I had a problem with the getting marketplace. Their organization have a for sale by owners or the expired listings. Most of the people have their numbers on do not call list. Okay, so I don't have that access to yet, but I want to know how to get contacts of the people for sale by owners or the expired listings.
Okay. I'm going to encourage you, and this goes for everyone, when we always want to try to keep our expenses minimal. So don't jump into real estate and think that you must pay for the leads. There is a million different companies out there that will sell you leads in a heartbeat. And they can be good leads, they can be very dead leads. We have a ton of ways that we can get leads more organically. And a little later in the class, George will be talking about Facebook ads, that for very, very little money, you can generate some of those leads. They're usually a little more long-term. But my suggestion to you, number one, for sale by owner or an expired, you can always go and knock on their door. Bring something of value. You know, you want to bring market information or something, but you can go and knock on your door. If it's a for sale by owner, 9 times out of 10, they have their phone number on the sign. So what I would do is bring an item of value, knock on the door. If nobody answers, leave the item of value and follow up with a phone call. Hey, I stopped by your house. And, you know, so now you have a reason to call them. And you're calling them not because you just want the listing, but did you get that information, etc. So it's, you know, welcome to Keller Williams. Welcome to this class. This is a fantastic class for you to go through, and it's going to build. There are several sessions, and it's going to build on all of those ideas that you're curious about right now. Any of the sessions, session 1 and 2 that you missed, you can watch those on the YouTube channel, KW New England YouTube channel. Just look for the most recent Ignite sessions, and it's 1 and 2. Those come on after, usually a day after the actual class. So make sure you watch those. That'll give you some more information, and I think you're going to learn a lot going through this program. Okay. So, all right. Let's just get started here with introduction so you know who you're talking to. George, you want to start?
Sure. My name is George Gattini. I've been a realtor for 17 years. I've been with Keller Williams for the last 8. I am the Market Center Tech Trainer for Keller Williams Evolution. That is our market center. We're located in Massachusetts. We have 5 offices within Massachusetts here. For those of you who may not know, a Market Center Tech Trainer, that's my job, is technology. My sole purpose is to be the support trainer and advisor to all of our agents regarding all things technology. Some of you may have a Market Center Tech Trainer. If you're not sure, you should inquire about that, because that person will be a big resource for you to help you with all of your technology questions, trainings, and support. If you don't have a dedicated one, usually they'll have someone who is the technology person in there. You should definitely find out who that person is and put that person's contact information in your phone so that you can reach out to them with any and all questions you have regarding technology. I'm still an active agent as well, so I'm buying and helping my clients buy and sell as we go. So my involvement with the market is consistent. So all of the systems that I teach, all of the paperwork and DocuSign that we use, everything that I'm constantly using, I'm also teaching. So I have an idea of what's going on as I'm teaching it as well. And this job is perfect for me because it combines 2 things I love doing the most. I love technology and I love to teach.
And I am Tara Donahue Scott. I am a realtor with Keller Williams Evolution. I've been an agent for 22 years and been with Keller Williams since 2015, and would never look back. You know, Keller Williams has the resources for us to grow, not only as real estate agents, but on multiple tiers of business ownership and income. I do own 2 dogs, which you will occasionally hear barking in the background. So I'm going to caveat that right away. But I have done, you know, several trainings. I have been in the MCTT role. I've been in productivity coach role, mentoring role. So I have, you know, I do love to teach, and I'm excited to get started because I think that we are going to give you an example. Somebody, Grace, asked for an example of value, and you're gonna get that, Grace, as we go through here, and I'll point it out as we move along. Okay. All right. So this is the overview of what you're doing throughout Ignite. not going to spend a lot of time on this, but for those of you who were in yesterday's session, can anyone tell me in session 1 or 2, can anyone tell me what the daily success system is? Because the daily success system is something that you are supposed to do every single day, whether you're in this class or not in this class. Let's say every single working day, okay? So who can tell me what the daily success system is? Unmute. And does anybody know?
3 hours of
Oh.
lead gen.
3 hours on lead gen. And what are you doing during that lead gen time?
Making phone calls, social media.
Is there numbers attached to that? So let's just go over, you guys are all hitting it correctly. So the basic outline is 4 steps for your success system. You know, and I always say, you know, 3 hours for lead gen, 2 hours for lead gen, 1 hour for lead gen, whatever you do, 5 hours for lead gen, just do lead gen. So don't look at it like, oh, I don't have 3 hours today. Sometimes you want to say, okay, I'm going to have 10 conversations today. Those conversations might be live with people. They might be conversations that you have, you know, through phone calls or texting. But you want to have 10 conversations. You want to, number 2, add 10 contacts to your database. And can someone give me an example of some contacts that you could add to your database?
Sphere of influence,
Yes, absolutely.
vendors,
Vendors, perfect.
friends.
Yep. Awesome. So then you want to do 10 handwritten notes. So if you have 10 conversations, it's easy to just go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to have a stack of notes next to me. And when I'm done with my 10 conversations, hey, George, it was great speaking to you today. If there's anything I can do to help out, here's my card, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you want to do, short, sweet, handwritten note card, stick it in the mail. Very powerful follow-up system. Make sure, again, as George will tell you, all of this gets recorded into Command so that you have them on a system and a smart plan so that you're not just contacting them once, but you're definitely putting them at least on your quarterly call smart plan. That's the minimum I tell people you must do. Okay. And then the last is for social media, which is the 10-5-1 model for social media. And George can talk about that a little bit later. Or we will. Okay. So today we're doing Connect with Your Market.
Actually, Tara, we have a question in the chat room.
Sure.
Valerie asked, should I include my business card with the thank you notes?
I always do.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you might be new to the business. You might be in the business for 22 years, but people don't just have your information. And they'd have to look it up, which is fine, but sometimes it's not as easy as, you know, one of the things that I give, and I'm going to give you a little nugget of what I love to do, go to Staples and buy the little sticky magnets. Okay, they're card size, and stick it on the back of your card and put it in that envelope so that when you're sending that business card, people who have a magnet are less likely to throw it away than if you just send them a business card. You know, if I've got a magnet, it's like, this feels like something, you know, I'll stick it on my fridge. And, you know, so it's a good way to have them actually keep your business card and know where it is. So go buy some magnets. I'll tell you, that'll be one of your best investments for cheap money. Okay.
Yeah. One thing too is when you're sending notes like that, it's great to put your business card in. What you shouldn't put your business card in is if you're sending them a holiday card, if you send them a birthday card as a follow-up, if you're sending them a Christmas card. You don't want to really put your business card in that because now it's business. You want to make that more personal and more social. So when you're sending out cards, if you decide to send out cards like that, don't put your business card in that. You can put them in all your follow-up notes, but not in like holidays or birthday cards.
Yeah. I mean, you know, at that point, you've got some sort of personal relationship with that person when you're sending holiday cards or whatever. And you can always, if it's not a super personal relationship, you can always follow up and ask, how were your holidays? How was your birthday? Those kind of things. So make those opportunities to reach out and connect. So we've just mentioned a couple of things that you can do for those notes and your lead gen. These are the things that we're going to be going over today. We have 4 sections to go through, and we're going to kind of get started here. So do you want to read the quote, George?
Sure. Here's the truth. If it has been done in another market, it can be done in your market. Once it has been done, no matter where, it's just a matter of finding out how that can be possible in your world.
So this is a quote from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Is everybody familiar with the MREA? If you're new to Keller Williams, like when I was in 2015, the amount of acronyms that Keller Williams uses is completely overload. But MREA, you must know, you should read the book. It is tried and true and used by realtors from all different kinds of companies. So what does this mean to anyone?
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Perfect. It's
Right.
exactly what it means. It's really saying there are systems and models that are already out there for you to use. People tend to be like, oh, this is really a creative idea or whatever, but you're spending too much time creating things that have already been done. Watch what successful people do and do it. Imitate it, adjust it for what works in your market, what works with your MLS rules, what works with, but, watch what people do, take those ideas, make them your own, but don't reinvent them.
You're correct, David. Success does leave clues.
Okay, so we want to, first of all, I'm gonna try to get some other people to talk here and remind you to get your cameras on for us. And anyone who has a birthday in the first quarter, that's January, February, and March, I want one of you to pop in and answer, what does connecting to your market mean? Come on, we're those New Year's babies. Got the Cupids, got the spring babies. Where are you? All right.
Okay, my birthday's in August, but I'm gonna take a shot at it.
Awesome.
So I think connecting with your market means like really getting out there, being visible, letting people know who you are and what you do, but also taking an interest in things that are around you.
Very good. Yep. And it's being informed on, is it KB? Yes. So like KB said, there's 2 ways to look at this, being connected to your market, looking at your market as basically the people around you, the people you know, and the sphere that you have. Another thing is the actual market, real estate market. What is it doing? You know, what's the economy doing? How are things changing? Are things changing? Are they getting better, worse? That's another way to connect with your market. What's going on locally? Are there issues, developments, zoning issues, things like that that are going on? What's going on in your neighborhood? So these are things that are, you know, there are two levels of connecting to your market. One, meaning your market of people and getting engaged with them, but also knowing your actual real estate market. And that's what we're going to spend some time on. So you can do this in two ways, on a macro level and on a micro level. So what would knowing your market on a macro level be? Can anyone answer that? Come on, I'm a Pisces and someone's got to talk.
Hi, good morning. I think understanding your market on a macro level would be looking at the data that's available for your state or for your county, for the country, and understanding the statistics and the numbers for that.
Yes, excellent, excellent. And Nate?
Yes, I was going to probably say similar to what she just said, but just kind of knowing what's available in your area, you know, the price range, the, you know, how long it's staying on the market, or yeah, that's kind of what I can think of. Just like really knowing what's going on around you as far as what's there and what's available.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So if we think about it like this, the macro level could be, like Christina said, the country. It could be the world. What's going on in the economy of the world? What are things that are affecting your local economy that have been impacted? You know, I mean, we just came out of a pandemic. There were things that were affecting everybody. But how does that then trickle down to a macro level? And that's the economy piece of it. But a macro level then becomes, it could be your city. It could be a neighborhood. It could be a group, like, you know what's going on with you know, you're the expert and know what's going on with the needs for senior citizens. You know, you become an expert in you get your SRES designation and become an expert to work with senior citizens. So you're really delving down and you can start talking to those people specifically about how the larger economic factors and real estate market factors affect them.
There are so many ways that market information comes to you. Your local board for your city, your council for your city, LinkedIn. There's several newsletters that go out. If you're a member of a real estate board, they put out newsletters all the time. The other difficult thing is to make sure that you don't spread yourself across every possible combination, buyers, sellers. Pick what your market is and go after it. Even if it's a location, you can zero in on a location and change that location as you evolve.
Yes, absolutely. That's great points, David. And yes, you don't have to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. I'm sure you've heard that. You really can focus on what you really want to do in your career and become the expert at that. So we really do want to become, and this is something that you're going to hear over and over, known as the economist of choice. known as the person who can talk about the market and what's going on in the real estate market of the moment. You have in your, hopefully you guys all have your book and the participant guide for Ignite. But in your guide, if you're following along, there is characteristics of the market. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And we are going to talk about the 3 different types of real estate markets. So a buyer's market. Can somebody tell me what a buyer's market is?
When houses are staying on the market for a longer period of time. So
Correct.
buyers have a better chance of having more quantity to see and getting their offer accepted.
Yep, she hit the 2 things on the head. It's quantity and the length of time for marketing. So those are buyers markets. What else could make it a buyer's market?
High interest rates.
How about low interest rates?
That's what I meant, lower
Yeah.
interest rates. My brain is on today's market right
You're
now.
good. You're good. Yeah. So if the rates are really low, a lot of buyers might come out. However, the inventory might be low as well. But buyers do come out with lower interest rates. But the biggest thing is you're going to have an excess of inventory and longer market time, which means the buyers have more choice and they can get better deals. They're not competing like multiple offers. So what's a balanced market?
Something that never happens.
It does. And it's, I mean, we tend to go, obviously, if you follow, you know, you look in the MREA or Shift, basically, here's the market, right? And when is it at its height? Tell me when, tell me when, tell me when. Karen, when's the high point of this market? Is it now? Did you miss it?
Yeah, no, we missed it.
Yeah. So you never know the high point or the low point until it actually hits. But during those times, basically 5 to 7 months of inventory is when we've got a little bit of a balance. There's not too much. So sellers are not competing against too many properties, and you know, everything is a little bit more level playing field. Now, what's a seller's market?
When there's not enough inventory for the number of buyers.
Okay. And who can give me an example? Are we in a seller's market?
Yeah.
Are you in a seller's market? Is your area in a seller's market?
Big time.
Yes. Without a
Okay.
doubt.
Has anybody seen what is a seller's market starting to shift a little bit?
Yeah.
Have we seen more price changes? That's not my dog. Have we seen more price changes?
My area has seen a lot of price changes, and homes staying on the market longer.
Yep. So what kind of things do create the shift in the market? Whether it's going from a seller's market to a balanced market, or to a buyer's market to a balanced market, what are the things that are going to impact that shift?
Well, the interest rates have been rising, so that's taking some of the buyers out. So it's leveling it off a bit.
Yep. So we've seen interest rates go up, inflation happening, things like that, that are kind of starting to impact the real estate market. And how do you find this out? By knowing your market and being able to talk about this, because these things are happening. We're not in a horrible market. We're not heading for a crash, but these things are happening.
Tara, I just wanted to add one thing.
Yes.
I think it's important to understand that when someone asks you how the market is, you just don't give them a boilerplate answer, oh, it's great. Because the market will be different based on what you want to do. So you want to have a nice elevator speech to be able to respond to that question. And most agents are going to say, oh, it's great for sellers. It's a seller's market. But there are people who are looking to buy, sell, and invest. And you should have a response for each one, how each one is affected. Now, where I am, one town, 2 or 3 cities and towns, I'm watching and I see $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 price changes. 2 towns over, they're still getting multiple offers, 60 over asking. So you want to really know your area, because you don't want to give a blanket answer to that question and it not be true, because it might be different. And that's going to separate you from all the other realtors, is to know specifically the answer. There's a difference between buying and selling, what each one is looking for, investing. You want to have that little elevator speech. It's a quick 30-second response to that. And trust me, when they hear that response, they're going to be, wow, that was incredible. Where everyone else they're talking to is saying, oh, it's great. If you want to sell your house, it's incredible. There's, you know, getting great prices for homes. Yeah, but if you're a buyer, that doesn't help you. So it's important to put that together, make sure that you stay focused on what the numbers are and what's going on in your area, because now as the shift is happening, it's not happening all together. It's not happening at a macro level. It's happening at a micro level. Cities and towns and counties are all adjusting accordingly, depending on how they are. So you want to be familiar with what's going on in your area, because it can change from one city or town to the next.
Can you give us an example of how that might sound based on where you are?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Can you give us an example of how that might sound based on like your area?
All right. So when we were in the sales market, people would ask me that all the time. My response would be like, it's a great market, but it depends on what you're wanting to do. Right now, we're in a seller's market. Sellers are getting over asking price. They're getting multiple offers. There's a lack of inventory. So this is a great time if you're a seller to sell your home. If you're a buyer, interest rates are super low right now. So you're going to get a great mortgage package, very low rates. However, there's a lack of inventory. So you're going to be in a competitive situation where you're probably going to be paying over asking price and market value. But it's better to pay more in your price and then less in your interest rate, because you're going to have that loan for 20, 25 years and the houses will appreciate and you should be fine with paying, overpriced. If you're renting, right now, prices are high. Rents weren't at the time. So now you wouldn't be able to try to rent your apartment or your complex at a premium to help pay what you're going to be paying for the house. So unless you're looking to come out of pocket with some money, buying an investment property right now might not be the best time, because you're not going to get the rents. And that was a picture of a period of time that we were going through here. So you notice how I had an answer for each one of those 3. And when you say something like that, the person you're speaking with is going to be very impressed, because that's clearly indicating that you're the expert, as opposed to, oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to be working with someone spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't want to hear, oh, it's awesome. You want a solid answer as an expert.
And Rachel, you're raising your hand.
Yeah. So I have a couple of sellers who are concerned about, they also need to buy. So what do I say when we're in a seller's market and, inventory is low? What do you say to a seller who's also a buyer about finding new property?
Well, I say the great news is that as a seller, you have a lot more control over what happens. So in terms of timing, you know, being able to, because a lot of people, let's just take this back one step. You get sellers who say, I really want to find something before we list my house. And you need to change that perspective. Now, certainly, I'll encourage my sellers, listen, I want you to watch the market. I want you to see what's out there. I want you to go to open houses so that you can kind of see what's out there. Yes. Are those things going quickly? They certainly are. But if we get you in a position where we list your home and get your home under agreement quickly, where you can take advantage of those buyers who are out there looking, once your home is securely under agreement, you're the one who has control over, you know, buyers are willing to wait for you to find suitable house, not forever. And certainly you may have to look at alternative housing for short periods of time. I mean, in every case is different, but I'm just giving you sort of a little role play, right? So, you know, you may have to look at different, but you're in the most control when your home is listed and under contract. So the further along you are in that process, the more desirable you are as a buyer. If I take you out today and you see a house that you want to buy and you have to sell your home first, and we're not even on the market, if I write you an offer contingent upon selling your home, it is not worth the paper that it's printed on. Okay, so we really need to get your house going so that we can get to that comfort level where your offer is going to be strong because we know that we're further along in that process.
Really helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
we have some questions in the chat room real quick.
Okay.
Grace, no, I didn't say it wasn't a good time to buy investment. What I was saying was when you explain investment properties, as Christina mentioned in the chat room, you want to explain to your investor the numbers. So it really depends on each investor, how much they're putting down, how much they're going to expect to get from the rents. If you're looking for an investor who's looking for positive cash flow right away, this might not be the market. With paying so much for a house and then rents being where they might be, depending on where you are, it might not turn out to be a positive cash flow. And that's what they're looking for, then that might not be the time.
Oops.
So it's about the numbers, it's about what they're looking for, and what they consider a good investment property, because you could work with 5 different investors and they will all have a different idea of what they're looking for. So you need to identify that and then be able to help them determine if it's a good time. I mean, it's never a bad time to buy, but if you're looking for investment property at a certain return, it might not work. So at that point, it might not be a good time to buy for them.
The rentals are like extremely high right now, right? And the more the interest rate goes up, the more people cannot afford to buy, so it's easier to rent. Does
It
that
could be,
make
yep,
sense?
that's part of the shift. That's part of the shift that's going on, yep. So, but every city and town, every area is different. So yes, that's why you want to be the expert and see what's going on, and you want to explain that to them and articulate that to them just
Yeah.
like that, so that they understand.
Thank you.
So, yep. So what I want to go into just real quick is what we have on this slide. And again, it's from this page in your participant guide. And I want to encourage you. How are you going to get to know the market? You can't just go in today and look at what's going on today and have an understanding of the market. You need to see what happens over time, right? So if you commit and put on your calendar a block for market reports, so that like in our market center, we actually have those provided to us once a week so that you can really see from last week, there was this much inventory. This week, there's this much inventory. There are this many price changes. all of those kind of things. These are the things that the information that you need to get to know your market, so that when you're talking to somebody, if they're an investor, a seller, or a buyer, you're going to have the right answer based on the information that you know. So I want you guys to do this afternoon or tonight, is fill this sheet out. And what's the inventory in your market? Can anybody give me right now in your current market that you work, how many active listings are there? Grace?
In our office, we have 20. In our 2 offices in Nashua and Salem, like our market, we have 54.
54. And what about what about how many listings are active single families in Nashua?
I don't know.
Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Like, and what you would look at is, okay, and you can even narrow that down. Again, we're talking micro to macro. Let's say you're working with a buyer in a 5 to 600 price point. So I'm going to study the market at that, and they're looking in several towns. So in this area that you're looking, there are 20 active listings. So that gives you a good amount of property to choose from. If we see a month ago, there were only 10, that indicates to me a little bit of a change, a little bit more coming into opportunity for a buyer. Would you agree? So when you're filling out these questions, I want you guys to do it because I want you to know how to look for these numbers in your MLS. And you should be doing it on a weekly basis so that you understand and you are the expert in your area. And Mahwish?
Yes, my question is, you talking about sellers, how to find more sellers who want to sell the property, but what about the buyers? How can we find the buyer? Because yeah, sellers is on the market, we can see them, but how to contact the buyers? How do we know about them?
Well, if you're just talking about lead gen right now, I mean, that's definitely going to be covered in one of the segments of Ignite. But I'll go into it just generally by saying that one of the best things for a, excuse me, for an agent to do is to hold open houses and to ask people in your market center if you can hold an open house for them. Don't wait till they schedule one. Look at the houses that might be staying on the market a little longer. Go in, look at your office's inventory, say, you know what, I'd love to be selling in the 500 to 600 price range. So who has listings in that range? And pick up the phone and say, hey, can I hold an open house for you? You know, if you're new, you want to shadow a few before you actually hold your own, but that's a good way to pick up buyers. Another way is through advertising listings on social media, and we can do that through Command, which George will talk about. And of course, working your sphere, because it's not just, you know, who do you know who's looking to sell, but you know, you've got people in your sphere that are just getting married, or they've just had a child, or they've just, you know, or their cousin just had a kid and is looking, you know, so you need to talk to your sphere to see who they know that might be looking to purchase. So that's something that you want to keep in mind at all times when you're going through your success time. So again, knowing average number of days, average price of home, and based on the inventory, what type of real estate market are you in? That's really the, you know, what we're talking about. Are we shifting? You know, and it's different for different towns, just like George said.
Tara, can I add
You may.
something? Hi, this is Lindsay White. I'm sorry, I can't find my raise hand button.
Oh, no problem.
So I took the previous slide that you had. I've been an agent for about 8 years, and I took that information and I just made it up on a Google Doc, and I print it out every week on Monday, and I fill it out. And then I type those numbers into Facebook. Actually, I cut and paste, to tell you the truth, because it's faster. But so in my market, people see me all over Facebook giving weekly market updates, and they know what's going on, and it sparks conversations. It sparked a lot of people reaching out to me and saying, you know, I know you know this market really well, and we're looking to sell. So something that people can not only do that weekly so that they know what's going on, but even take it to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is awesome, because you can post those things. You're not trying to sell anything. You're just giving information. So if you've got a town page, you know, that is on Facebook, you can say, here's what's happening in our town. You know, if you have a neighborhood page, here's what's happening in our neighborhood. That's, you know, any questions, let me know. Like, you're not soliciting, you're giving information, you know, and that'll bring us back to that question of item of value. That is a huge item of value. And you don't have to do what Lindsay did and create it, because it's already created for you in your participant guide. So take this sheet, do just what she said, keep it, and every single week, boop, do what it says, because you'll notice further down on the sheet, it says, what are the local interest rates? You're going to be asked that question. We are not mortgage lenders, but you need to know generally where they are. Are they trending up? Are they trending down? You know, was there a big, you know, boost in the interest rates now? And you also need to know the difference between what it means when the Fed boosts interest rates versus does it actually always impact the mortgage market? It doesn't always impact the mortgage market. You know, it doesn't always have a direct correlation. It does have a correlation, but it's not 100%, oh, Fed's raising interest rates will rise. It's a little bit more complicated than that. And from this, I just want to see, before we continue, for some reason, George, are you still there?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I just don't see you on my screen, and I'm like, I just want to make sure you're not, I didn't lose you.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. So one of the things that I really want to say with this is, you know, you really want to pay attention and make contacts with your lenders. My suggestion is that you ask a lender out to lunch and you talk to them and ask them what kind of programs they have. If you're newer, you can ask them to explain, what's an FHA? Do you deal with USDA? What kind of, you know, do you deal with, you know, state programs, local town programs? You know, what's your specialty? Do you deal with commercial real estate? What do you do? You know, and what are some of the best programs that your company has right now? What are you finding? You know, what do you do when you work with your clients, who obviously will be my clients as well? You know, make a connection, but also talk to the experts about what they see happening and have that communication. But you need to know, this is where you need to know a little bit. You don't have to be the master, but you do need to know a little bit about all those programs that are available, because you need to be able to discuss them with your clients. But you want to really be aware of what the interest rates are. And again, that's just part of knowing the market. If there are different regulations that are changing in the field, of the mortgages, things like that. Make sure, I know you were introduced to Keller Mortgage. We do have our own mortgage company. And when you refer your clients to them, you want to make sure that you give them the disclosure that we are associated with them. So there is a disclosure, ask your market center about it. But Keller Mortgage is great. There's a great advantage to that. And you can offer Keller Mortgage to your own clients, as well as any client who walks through a door at an open house, anyone who is sort of 1 degree away from you.
I just want to add, when we're talking about pulling up numbers, that's why it's so important to really understand how to use your MLS. And if you're not an MLS expert on how to use it, MLS has, no matter where you are, no matter what state you're in, your MLS board has an incredible training program. Just go to their training library, which is in the MLS itself. And they have pre-recorded classes, and they even have lectures, webinars, where it's a live instructor. And they have sections specifically on reports, on how to go through every single one of their reports that they have, and they walk you through it. So you want to become very good at pulling up their reports and getting all that information. And just like Lindsay said, she puts together this really nice presentation and social post and puts it out there. Lindsay, I don't know are you using Designs to do it? Okay, good. So Designs has all of these images already set up. All you have to do is plug in the numbers, plug in your logo, put in your picture, boom, you have it all set, ready to go. You don't have to create this elaborate design. They're already in Designs and markets in your in Command under Designs. I would even talk to your lender, just as Tara was saying. A lot of the lenders will co-brand something with you. They'll put together an interest rate update every week that they send out that has their picture and information on. Well, a lot of them will co-brand that, will put your information on it. So it's them and you on the bottom, your picture, your contact information, and then have them send that and use that to post on social media. So using the technology that you have to get this out there and post it on your Facebook business page, not your Facebook personal, it has to go on your business page, then you can share it. Well, all your people out there are seeing all this information, and now you're going to become the expert by posting this information regularly.
Okay. Jason?
Hi, Tara. Just a quick question about working with multiple lenders, because it's an interesting point. So George brought up something interesting just now, and I'm learning about co-branding. Let's say you go out and do an event, for example, with ABC Mortgage Company. How do they typically feel? And like, how does it work when you go and work with XYZ Mortgage Company and you co-brand with them and do some things like that? How does that work in our industry?
They know, they know that they're not the only lender. Just like we co-broke and work with other agents, and we know that we're not the only agent that maybe a seller is interviewing or a buyer is interviewing. We understand that's, you don't hate the person who beat you out on a listing. You kick yourself because you didn't get it, but you don't hate that person. You know that you're all working in the same industry, and it's a competitive industry. So I would say if any lender has a problem with that, then that would probably not be somebody that I'd want to work with. And at the same time, I do always try to ask lenders that I work with, I'll give you business and I expect the same in return, so because they're working with a million other agents, right? Are you getting every single one of their buyers? No, so you got to understand that's just the way the business is. Does that answer your question?
It does. I think one more question too is so not all lenders are created equal. They're not all offering the same packages to clients. They're not all offering the same programs to client, like the same financing packs to clients. Is it like what makes one lender different or better or worse than another?
Okay, well, that is a get to know your lender kind of question. No, not all lenders are created equal. number one, in my business, a lender is a partner. It should be in yours as well. It's a team member of mine. So I want them to have the same kind of work ethic and customer service that I do. You know, so if I find somebody who does not have that, that person, I don't care what program they have, I really am not going to be trying to give out their name and have my clients working with them. I want to partner with people who can be part of my team, and I know that my clients are taken care of. So that's on the who do I want in the first place. In the second place, it's yes, there are some companies that have different programs. There are lenders who are better and more efficient at certain programs. Some lenders don't like to do FHA loans. You'll learn that person doesn't do them, or that person isn't good at them, and you'll never use them for an FHA again, but they may be excellent in the luxury market. You know, so somebody who is familiar with a 203K loan or a renovation loan product, that's something I would find an expert on. I would not just give that to my buddy that I like because he's in the mortgage business. That's you need to know what you're doing to make that loan work. So if it's a complicated loan, you want somebody who has a lot of experience that goes VA, FHA, USDA, 203Ks, or other renovation products. Those are the ones that kind of come to my mind. You'll want to get kind of specific people for those. And that's why, you know, don't just take out one lender, take out several. You should be having in your meetings or affiliated with your market centers, other lenders, and meeting other lenders. Ask people in your office who they'd like to use and have a conversation or a coffee or something with one of those lenders. They're always happy to sit down with you. So that's how you build your team. And your team can have several lenders on it, not just one. Okay.
Great.
All right. And Katie, did you have a question or did we answer it?
Jason's question was a part of mine, but so how do you know, like Keller Mortgage? I'm just trying to help my clients get to the right lender. So I mean,
yeah.
What are the distinct differences? Why Keller Mortgage, or how should I be having this conversation?
Okay, well, there's a lot of information on KW Connect about Keller Mortgage. You want to go in there and sign up, and then there's actually promotional material. There's things that tell you why Keller Mortgage. Why would you want, you know, the $1,000 credit for your buyers, no lender fees. I mean, it does. Keller Mortgage I have used it several times, and it is a pretty inexpensive loan. My clients tend to save and have lower closing costs on that. You need a client who is very comfortable doing everything virtually to do Keller Mortgage, because we don't have a Keller Mortgage person who's going to come and sit at their house. So if I have a client who's not really that kind of person or really wants a hands-on experience, I'm going to be looking to someone on my team who's local. So you really need to get to know the lenders in terms of who's going to be best for your client, because you're going to start with, I know my client, and my client is not going to be comfortable doing everything online. They want to go into an office, they want to do this, then you're going to know Keller Mortgage isn't even going to be an offering.
But if it's going to save them a couple thousand, you don't think they would get comfortable?
Well, it depends. It depends. You know, if you know, like I have clients that I still like, you know, and most of them are elderly that do not. I mean, I have people who are elderly that are smart as whips, better than me in technology, but I have some that just are not okay with like signing paperwork online and things like that. They feel that it's not secure. So if I had somebody who was like that, I wouldn't give them to Keller Mortgage. I would introduce it to anyone who may want that opportunity to save some closing costs. And it's a really good thing to give them a couple of choices so that they can decide who they're most comfortable with. Okay. So economic factors, we really did talk about this. And since we're getting a lot of questions, I want to just go on to the next slide. But we're really looking at, you know, what things are happening and particularly paying attention. Can it be an economic factor on a micro level? Is there a big company that's closing or a big company that's coming into the area? Those are things that you want to know about. You want to know about your area. And that's really the bulk of knowing your market is I want to know all of these types of things like it has here on the slide. So the last thing is just looking at some of the other important market factors. And we did sort of hit on this as well. Nearby shops, restaurants, you know, you should be able to, if you're out showing, and I know we show a lot of property that aren't necessarily in towns that we live in or that we're super familiar with, because buyers tend to, you know, they start to look in a lot of different places. But you should know, where's the nearest grocery store? You know, there's pizza places down here, or you're 5 minutes to the highway, or you're this or you're that. You want to be able to know those things, both for buyers and for sellers, because for sellers, you want to be able to explain the benefits of the property. So who can think of other important factors that you might want to know that would aid in knowing your market?
Tara?
Yes.
Hi, it's just easy. I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to raise my hand, but I just wanted to share. So I flip for a living as well. And I didn't think for some reason in flipping to kind of reach out to local businesses. And my last flip in Bridgewater, the store, I don't remember if it was a 7-Eleven, and across the street, they're the ones that wanted my house. They fought for it. And so it just opened up again. I sometimes I get very busy, and it's important to, like you said, other market factors is reaching out to local neighborhoods. And if they don't buy, they might know people who are interested in not only investing, but buying other properties. So I think I just wanted to share that because it just opened my eyes that it's not just MLS, it's even before the property goes in the market is who might be interested in the neighborhood.
Absolutely. That's a great aha to start us off. Yeah, you don't know. And when something comes on the market, or if you're involved in a project like Daisy, you need to get the word out. This is what's happening. You know, being a flipper, you're improving a property. And most of the time, neighbors are very excited because that will impact their equity in their home. Commercial businesses, again, they may have, they may be interested because they want to live near their business, or they may know people. But you also have an opportunity to introduce yourself and say that you can help promote their business as well, you know? Or with Daisy, if she was across the street from a lumber yard or whatever, you know, I want to let you know this is what I do. And so when you hear of people who are looking for an opportunity, definitely let them know about me.
I also reach out to local landscaping companies because that also helps. So definitely there's ways. Somebody asked, how do you reach out and get buyers is basically that as well. Yeah, reaching out to local businesses in your area.
Yep, absolutely.
Whether it's salons, barber shops, whatever it is. In the beginning, when I started real estate, I also did presentations. I participate in first-time home buyer presentations because I'm a trained facilitator in general. So I think there's a lot of different ideas. I think somebody said it earlier on, if it's been done. You can practically use anything to just start talking to people in the supermarket. I've reached out to people sitting down in restaurants to say hi, and then we start talking.
Yeah.
So being friendly, that's it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And maybe a little bit further in these slides, but it's, you know, wearing your Keller Williams swag, put on your Keller Williams hat, put on your Keller Williams name tag, put on your Keller Williams t-shirt, and it can start a conversation with an absolute stranger, and you're going to get that, how's the market? And you're going to say, why do you ask? Are you looking to invest, purchase, or sell your home? I'm looking to invest. Well, I know that there are X amount of properties that are for sale, and some of them are more owner occupant, investor friendly. However, with the rate of rents, basically they're kind of at a break-even point, and with rents continuing to rise, it could be a good opportunity. Or there is a two-family that needs a lot of work, and I think that if you could get it vacant, you could actually put in some work and get some equity, or there might be a condo, you know, conversion opportunity. So know your markets and know who you're talking to. You know, how's the market? Why do you ask? Are you looking to build wealth, invest in real estate? So let's go to you guys. Give us some ahas about knowing your market. What did you learn during this session? This segment of the session where you spend a lot of time on it. Share, please turn off your mics and share with us, please.
Go ahead, Grace.
Thank you. Actually, it's really interesting what Daisy said, like reach out to your landscaper. Like, but like if you reach out to them and say, listen, I'm a real estate agent. And if you know, because now thinking about it, probably they would know who wants to sell their houses more than anybody else. They will be working on preparing the house maybe. But the question is, what do you have to offer in response? Like if you refer sellers to me, what do I have? Like, how do you make them want to help you? What do you offer for them? Like your local landscapers, what would you offer them?
That's a great question, Grace. If they're referring you, you can refer them. You have clients who may need landscaping, or you know, you sit down with them, you have a conversation about building a business-to-business relationship. It's about referrals. You should become the expert to all of your clients, not just real estate, but for referrals. From painters to carpenters to landscapers to electricians, lenders, attorneys, everybody. You should be the one that they think of first. And that's how you build your referral network of vendors, is by building those relationships.
Yeah. There's an agent who, his name escapes me, but he said, I want to be the Google for my clients. If you need anything, you come to me from my area. Like, come to me, I'll tell you who, you know, is great at this and great at that. I mean, when you're doing something, developing partnerships with landscapers, et cetera, and this is kind of off topic, but, you know, this is where you can run, you know, not even an ad, just do a Facebook post, take a picture of a recently landscape job that they've done or something, and just put a shout out to that landscaping company. And I mean, people pay attention to that, you know, particularly on the local groups, you know, the town pages, et cetera. They really pay attention to that, because they go in and, you know, next time they're looking for a landscaper, they're going to search landscaper under their town page and see who's mentioned. So you really can give back. And you want to make it a two-way street though. So don't just, you know, when you're developing these relationships, make it very clear that you're looking for business too. You know, if they say, oh no, I give all my business to XYZ and I would never consider giving business to you, I wouldn't spend a lot of time pushing their business. You know, I might refer them, but I may not push their business. I may not consider them one of my referral partners. So let's hear another aha regarding growing your market or knowing your market.
One of the things that you mentioned and I do is like wherever I go, I always have my name tag on. And I found that it really does spark conversation. I could be in the grocery store and the woman at the checkout could say, "Oh, you're a real estate agent," you know, and
Yep.
it sparks a conversation. So I find that extremely helpful just for people to just notice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, I'm just another person walking through the store
Yeah.
until they see that name tag and then it just starts a conversation.
Yeah. Excellent. Ashley?
I just wanted to share that you guys definitely helped me shift my mindset from knowing what the market is like to watching the market weekly, because you want to be ahead of that change. And you guys kind of instill the importance of that to like the regular schedule, regular weekly thing, to know it and to recognize it and to write down the numbers, because putting one point on a graph isn't going to show where the market is going. You have to have leading points up to the graph and doing that research yourself. Because I mean, up until now, I've been working with lead generation and, you know, building relationships, but knowing the market is extremely important. So you guys kind of helped ignite that fire within me. So thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Bruce?
Yeah, I think having the importance of having up-to-date data at your fingertips and in every way that you might slice and dice the market. So I'm based in Duxbury, so I think I need to have Duxbury, I need to have Plymouth County. I specialize in characterful houses, antiques. So being able to talk about, you know, whatever the configuration is.
Yeah. Jack?
I think paying attention to stuff on the macro level as well, and stuff going on a broader scale and how it affects our local markets is important too, because that way you can predict stuff as it happens.
Absolutely. You want to stay ahead of the information. You know, just as Ashley was saying, you know, you want to know it before your clients know it. You know, we've got the news talking about this all the time. Do you want your clients to hear the information of the market, which isn't always true for your local market? Do you want that to be their resource, or do you want to be ahead of it and say, you know, you can't always believe what you hear, and this is the way it's happening in our area. Okay. All right. Anything else before we move on? All right. So now we're going to build our expertise, which we're kind of talking about here. So can anyone tell me what the 6 personal perspectives are? Has anyone heard of that? I know we've got some seasoned people here. Okay, the 6 personal perspectives are talked about in the MREA. I don't think we got anyone. Oh, Rebecca says mastery, and that is correct. Number 1 is commit to self-mastery. Number 2 is commit to the 80-20 rule. Does anyone know what that is? Let's get some mics off and talk if you know what the 80-20 rule is.
I think 20% of your efforts and is 80% of your results produces.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think 80% general information and then 20% real estate on every conversation or something.
It could be that it is typically in our world of real estate, it means that 80% of your business comes from 20% of your efforts. It could also mean 20% of the agents do 80% of the business, right? But what it really says is you got to think about, and it's a concept called, you know, I mean, the example is using your big rocks, which, you know, there are a lot of little things that we need to do. We need to learn all this technology. We need to learn all these things. There's a lot of things that we need to do, keep up on our education, all these things, but you need to commit to those things that are your big rocks. And the commitment to self-mastery is super important as you, number 3, move from E to P. And that is moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. So, meaning, just what I was saying earlier, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Entrepreneurial is, I've got all these ideas, I'm a business person. And then purposeful, I know what I'm doing it this way, I've got a set way to do it. It's been done before, so I'm going to follow this path. You know, this is my plan. This is my smart plan, and I'm not going to stray from it. You know, we always get ideas, and that's not that, you know, you can't bring creativity into this business, but definitely getting into being purposeful in all the things you do, rather than, oh, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try this. Commit and become the master at what you do. So that is also committing to education, which is what you're doing right now. Removing your limiting beliefs that you can't do something. You know, do not have that in your mind ever. You will and you can. All right. And of course, number 6 is accountability. I encourage all of you, if any of you are, you know, in market centers together, that you become accountability partners, maybe even somebody who's not in your market, so that you can kind of bounce new ideas on this class. Grab someone, private message them, and get yourself an accountability partner. Okay. Always make learning be your plan. All right. So we have already discussed this, and having your elevator speech of how's the market. You must practice this. You must practice it. But if somebody says, how's the market? And I ask you, I'm here in Amesbury, and I say, you know, how's Amesbury market doing? Or, hey, I noticed that my neighbors just listed their house. What's that going for? Are you stumped? I mean, you don't have to memorize everything, but you should, if you live and work in a place, you should be getting those notifications every single day of what is new on the market, what had a price reduction, what just sold, and how much it sold for. Did it sell for 10% over asking? Did it sell for 100,000 over asking? Did it, you know, that's great conversation to have with someone. I'm out walking my dogs. I pass a neighbor. Oh yeah, that house down the street. Can you believe they just got 60,000 over asking price? Have you ever thought about pulling out some of that equity? Have you ever thought about getting your equity and moving to Florida? I know you guys go there every winter. Whatever. Make sure you know that. Become your expert realtor of choice. Okay? Learning the market, learning your clientele. It's exactly what we were talking about at the beginning. You know, you want to know who your people are, what their needs are, what their focus is. You know, are they commuting every single day? Are you paying attention to, you know, where the commuter rail is, or if there's a commuter rail available, etc. Listening to individuals again, one particular person, what's their need? Don't, make sure that not only are you listening to these individuals, but you're tracking what they're saying. And where are we going to track what we're saying? Bonus points, come on. Where are we
Command.
tracking? Command.
Command.
Ta-da. Okay. So you're having those phone calls. George is going to tell you some great things about how you can make your calls right from your app in a few minutes. And that's really exciting and an easy way to make a call, make a follow-up, etc. So then you want to keep the headlines in context, exactly what we were talking about when the news is going on. What does that mean? Is that really, when they say, oh, prices are falling and this and that? Okay, nationally, prices have went down, or nationally less homes sold, or more homes are on the market this month than there were last month. How does it look in your neighborhood or your market area or the market area of where one of your clients is working or selling? Okay. So learning the market. Lore report. It is the language of real estate. What's going on in the market? How many properties are being sold? All of these things that we're really talking about here on this page is how you can generate your lore report. If you go to your MCA, your Market Center Assistant, you will be able to ask them, do you have a recent lore report? And they can generate that for you. It often tells you how your office is doing versus other offices, how the market's doing at one particular time versus this time last year. You can also create these through MLS. And again, back to what George was saying, make sure you take those MLS classes. The most important are how to do really efficient searches and how to do the reports and read the reports. Okay, so make sure that you definitely tune into that. You are a business owner. You are self-employed. You need to know these things to be above and beyond what somebody else who just thinks that we simply go in, sell a house, write a contract, and move to the next. We really know a lot of information. Know your business. Another way to talk about this is know your numbers. Know your numbers. If I ask you what, how many properties did you sell last year? What was your average price point? What was your average percentage of commission? What was your GCI versus your net? Are those things that you guys would know how to come up with? Do you know that language?
No.
Okay, so in Command, it is, and you will be taught in a future class actually, more on tracking your numbers through Command, but it will become very easy. And Command is a thing that you really do want to track your numbers through there, because that, again, as you use it over the years, is going to start compiling these things. So you pull it up on a screen and you can see your trend. This was a good year, this is a bad year. What changed during this time that my business fell off? Because just because a market changes does not mean that your business has to go down. What do you think happens with realtors when a market changes? When a market goes down?
They go on a roller coaster.
Yes. Realtors, I mean, what we tend to get is attrition. People leave the business. This hot market people are like, oh yeah, I'm getting into real estate. I want to do that. I want to do that. You know, houses sell in a day. When it gets a little tougher, I mean, there are people in this business right now who have been working for 3 years, 4 years, but have never had to deal with a price change. You know, never had to deal with 90 days on the market, 6-month contracts that you have to renew. You know, those are real. So those realtors leave and we stay because we know our market. We know what we have to do. We're the expert of choice. You continue getting the business. Okay. Learning your clientele. We've talked about this. What are the benefits for your clients? You're always touching base. If there is something that's new, that's a benefit to your client. I mean, I just spent probably over a year watching a condo project from being approved by the town to being built. And I was on top of them because there's not a lot of condos. And I knew I had clients that were interested. I was on top of them. I was the first person who showed the property. It's not even on the market. And I have one of those units under agreement because I knew that my clients would want them. And it's one of two. I showed the first clients and they didn't move forward. I called the second clients and they bought. I know my clients. So I'm looking at the market. That's not even on the market, but I see that it's coming. You get in touch with that. Sorry about that. I meant to turn off my phone. And is there a risk for your clients? You know, do you have clients who got an adjustable rate mortgage that are nearing the end and interest rates have went way up? These are things that we probably haven't dealt with, particularly if you're newer, but those are things that could be an issue. You know, talking about overspending with a buyer. You know, sometimes in the frenzy of the market, the buyer is putting themselves in a place that they're not comfortable. We're not just here to sell them. We're their advisor. We're not here to sell them. They're the ones buying. We're here to advise. We want to make sure that clients don't take unnecessary financial risks or, you know, settle, even though we want them to have their perspective, and that's a whole nother class. But you want to make sure that you're always in tune with your clients, knowing what the market is. If they buy, you know, what's the, you know, economic outlook on the area they're purchasing in? Are they going to be in the house long enough to gain equity? Things like that. Okay. All righty. Taking a grassroots approach, making sure you're talking to your local businesses. Just like what I said, neighbor, just, you know, making sure that you know what's going on in the neighborhood. Somebody says my neighbor's house has been on the market a while, so I'm not gonna put my house on the market. Can somebody tell me a good response to my neighbor's house has been on the market for a while, so I don't think it's a good time to sell? Grace?
Just be with the right professional.
Why would the neighbor's house not sell today, like in today's market?
Probably priced too high.
Price. Yeah, it's always price. It doesn't matter if it's today's market, 10 years ago market, whatever. It's always price. There's always a price for a property. You can have two properties that are identical. And if one's priced at 550 and the other's priced at 500, what's the 550 house doing?
It's going to take longer to sell.
It's going to take longer to sell, and it's actually selling the 500. It's making this look like a nice value. Therefore, if there's a slightest bit difference here, people are like, well, that has a smaller yard at 550. So yeah, I'd be willing to pay 540, 550 for this one, because this one's definitely much more of a value. So you definitely want to be able to have those responses ready. And Grace, what is your question?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna wait until you're done. I just, there is a webinar on Neuron today, if somebody's interested in customizing property reports. I'm sorry to interrupt. I
Yes.
was planning on just letting them know.
That's great. No, thank you for sharing. That's awesome. So where are they getting their information? Again, are they, you know, watching the news and the sky is falling? Where are they getting their information? Do we have buyers out there? Who has buyers out there that want to wait because they think that the market is going to crash? Who thinks the market's going to crash as a realtor? Do you think the market's going to crash?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So
I don't think it is. It's just gonna level out.
yeah, that's where we're trending now. If we're watching, you know, you'll hear people say, we don't have a crystal ball. But I'll tell you, I was getting my oil changed in it was probably 2017. And the market was good. It was a good market. And the guy who was changing my oil knew everything about real estate, right? Yeah, I want to get into a house and stuff, but I'm not doing it. Can't do any more than this. It's going to crash. Everything's going to crash and burn. And that's when I'm going to take advantage of the market. And I had a conversation with him about how that's not likely to happen, and that he could potentially be missing what is a lower market, and his waiting could price him out of the market. And what do you think happened? He's priced out of the market. So it's very important. I mean, you could talk about somebody who's been looking for 6 months and they could be priced out of a market, right? That's how quickly our market has been moving. You know, this one sold for 400 and the next one, because it listed and its marketing price was 400, but it got multiple offers, it sold for 450. So the next house is going to be going on the market at 450, right? And what if it gets multiple offers, you know? So you're seeing this market that's just exploding. And that's what had been happening, where we quickly got people priced out. So make sure that you have those educated conversations with your clients. Let them know when they say, how's the market? You know what the market is. Be present for them. Keep the headlines in context. Know your numbers. All right. For this section, let's hear some ahas.
Knowing your clientele is almost even more important than, I don't want to say more important than knowing the market, but just as important, because for one person, it might be their absolute perfect time to buy or sell. For another person, it might be the worst time, regardless of how the market is. So getting to know your clients, building those relationships is always going to be a root importance.
Yeah. Michelle.
I really like the whole knowing your market piece. Obviously that, you know, kind of seems obviously a common sense thing, but really diving deeper into that is something I'll be a licensed agent 2 years in December, but really grasping that and really being able to answer those questions, and not necessarily all of them off the top of your head, but I don't like having to tell clients that I'm not sure, but I will get back to you. And I know that's the proper thing to do. But I definitely, that's something I want to step my game up with my business, is to make sure that I can answer more of those questions more quickly without having to say, I will get back to you.
Yeah. And don't feel bad saying I'll get back to you. I mean, and again, we don't need to know the numbers exactly, but we need to have a good sense of what's going on. And if somebody asks you that question and you don't know, don't say, I'm not sure. Say, that's an excellent question. And I'm going to get you that information. Is it best for me to text it over to you this afternoon or email? Whatever, you know, just like, don't even make it an issue of, I don't know. Just, that's an excellent question. And I'm going to get that information over to you this afternoon. Should I text you or email it to you?
I like that better. That's
Yep.
great.
It's
phrasing.
just, yeah, you're not even giving them a, I don't know. You know?
Right.
So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other ahas? Do we have anything in the chat?
No, nothing yet. I'd like to just add one thing too, is getting to know your clients are very important. That's why it's important to have, when you're working with buyers, a buyer consultation, and when you're working with sellers, you're sitting down and finding out what their needs are. And then also making a note to writing this stuff down. Command is designed for this. You're creating a contact inside of Command, and you can add all these notes and information into Command under their profile, so you can always go back and remember. Because you may have a conversation with someone today, they give you their information, but they may not be ready for another 6 months. You put all that information in, you make your notes, you set a reminder, and then you come back and have a conversation with them. It's almost like you just had the conversation yesterday, because now you're using your notes. So don't try to remember all of this, because it's going to be too much. I mean, if you have one client now, that's great. You might be able to remember all that. But the
Yep.
goal is to have 20 clients, 100 clients. You're not going to remember it all. Use Command to help make all of these notations and all this information, so that you don't forget this, and that you can stay top of mind whenever you have that conversation. They'll think, wow, they remember everything about me. They remember what I told them 7 months ago about my new job, possibly moving to this city and town, and I may have to use the commuter rail to come to work. It makes a big difference in knowing who your people are.
Yeah, absolutely. Grace?
Yes, I have a question. Like we were talking a lot about like being expert in your market. How about like if like a very good friend of yours or even like your relative comes to you, he wants to buy, but not in your market, and you're not an expert, but he really wants to do you a favor. How would you convince him like not to go to the expert of the area, comes to you even though you're not the expert? But will you take,
yeah, I don't know
will
that-
you take that buyer in the first place, or
I have had a very good friend of mine that I have shown. I'm in Amesbury, which is, you know, I can walk over to New Hampshire. But I have shown houses down on the Cape, sold her place in Middleborough, and then sold her a place in Dover, Massachusetts, because she only wanted to work with me. She was comfortable with me. She only wanted to work with me. The agreement that comes with that is I am happy to work with you, and I absolutely know how to do this process, how to negotiate in your best interest. I will do, you know, market analysis for you, looking up to make sure that you're paying, you know, a fair price and that we know what we're doing. However, I need you to be comfortable with, I don't necessarily have the insight on what the local schools are like, or what the, you know, what this neighborhood is about, or whatever. I think that if you're comfortable with us kind of learning that together, then I would be happy to work with you. And again, that's if you want to go out of your space. And if they aren't comfortable with that, refer them and get a referral fee. But some people do want to work with you, and that's okay. But you have to have that agreement that, like, you know, listen, I don't know, you know, school systems or this or that, or, you know, but you should try to learn what you can, or have the resources, because you can always get the resources to, here's how you can find out more information. You know, a lot of times when that happens, it's, you know, somebody who already lives in that area and they know it. They just need an agent who knows how to negotiate in their best interest.
Thank you.
Any other ahas? My dogs busted in here. I had the door closed and they busted it open. I don't know how they did that. You know. All right, so let's move on. Next, we are going to talk about how we can use some tools to, and we have been talking, but George is just going to go in a little bit more on how to use your Keller Williams tools in order to know your market.
All right, technology, I love it. So let's everyone take a minute, take out your phones. If you do not already have the KW Command app and the Consumer app on your phone, take out your phones now and let's download. Go to your App Store or Google Play and type in Keller Williams Realty. You should see two apps pop up. One will be Command. The other one should just be Keller Williams. The Command app will be the red tile with the white KW. And the Consumer app will be a white tile with a red KW. Download both of those onto your phone. Once you do that, log in. And your login credentials should be the same information that you're using. Well, for the Command, it'll be the same credentials you use to log into Command, which is typically your first initial, last name, and then whatever your password is. So I'll just give everyone a couple of minutes.
I found the commands, but I didn't see the consumer one. Is it KW buy and sell real estate?
Is it a white tile? With
Yeah,
a red
it's a white,
KW?
yes. So
That's
that's
it.
the one? Okay.
Yep. And Nissa, is that a bug that you're having with your phone or the app? Because I haven't heard of any problems with the app.
It's the app. It will not open on my phone.
And
And it says there's a bug.
You have an iPhone or a?
I have a Samsung Galaxy.
All right. Have you removed it and tried to download it again?
Yes, it just won't open on my phone. It says there's a bug within the app. And it's been like this for several weeks and I haven't been able to get onto it.
Okay. Do you have a Market Center tech trainer at your location?
I don't know. I'm in Nashua and I'm not sure.
All right. Are you, all right.
I believe you do. Talk to your team leader, they'll direct you.
Sure, thank you.
Because what they can do is they can help troubleshoot that, and if it's a problem, they can escalate that through KW support to see if there's an issue. I have people downloading it all the time. I haven't run into that, so it might be a specific issue with that phone and that app, and they'd be able to help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Dawn, Kelly is no longer with us. We got rid of Kelly and now we're into Command. So if you have Kelly, if anyone has the Kelly app, K-E-L-L-E on their phone, delete it. Doesn't work anymore. We don't use it. We use Command, the Command app. Hector, I strongly recommend Command. I use Command all the time in my business. It allows you to connect with so many of our other features. To keep updated with all of our clients. You can send out smart plans. There's really not much you cannot do in our Command that you would have to pay for in another CRM. And again, if you're having problems with the app, reach out to your Market Center tech trainer. If you don't know if you have one, check with your team leader. They can actually sit down with you and walk you through and help you see where the error is. And if it is something that's with the app, then they can escalate that through KW support and get that taken care of for you. You want to go to download the apps, you want to go onto your Google Play or your iPhone whatever, the app store, type in Keller Williams Realty. And should pop up those two apps. One is a red tile with a white KW and the other one will be a white tile with a red KW. All right, Hector, that's good. You installed it and it's now open. All right.
And just, regarding using other CRMs, certainly there are a number of them, and yes, you do have to pay for them. And Command as a Keller agent is no cost to us. But you're always going to have to, for your compliance, when you do a deal, you're always going to have to put that through Command. And so to me, why not keep track of your business in one place? Learn Command instead of trying something else and then going to Command and saying, well, it doesn't do that or whatever. It really does everything that you need it to do. And it's only improving, every year. So, all right. And did you talk about some of the things that ways they can use their app in their business?
I have a quick question, if I can. I have a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
There are PDF files for coding. I need those files. I've been emailed them and called them, but I didn't get them. It's been like 2 weeks ago. I emailed them to send me those PDF files. To use Command, you need codes.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. They need codes?
She's talking about like the login information that we get when we're a new agent.
Oh, your credentials, your login, username and password?
Not the credentials to complete your website and all that stuff. You put coding. I need those codes.
Most of it. Now I know that, and George, I don't mean to interrupt here, but I know that your website can be completely built through Command. If you want to customize it.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And that's a whole different class. That would definitely be something to look to your MCCTT. If you want to customize, like beyond what you're able to customize within the realm of Command for your website, and adding new HTML and whatever. That's something completely different. There are YouTube videos and all of that as well.
In those YouTube videos, she was talking about coding and she was copying and pasting those codes in your Command app. And that's what I'm talking about. Those codes, I need those codes.
I'm unsure, George.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure what codes you're referring to. I would recommend speaking with your Market Center tech trainer or your team leader about that, because
Yes, I emailed them, but I don't receive any response yet, but I'm waiting. Thank you.
Okay, and what Market Center are you in?
815.
Town or Market Center?
Glastonbury office.
In Connecticut?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you should get a response from someone on your team, but if you know, what is the result of the codes? Like what do those codes do?
Same, customizing your website.
Adding what?
I was just learning that at that.
Okay. I think you're probably getting more into it than you need to be.
Yes.
Because your website, quite honestly, it's not going to get the traffic that you think it's going to get. Everybody's got a website. You're going to send your clients there. They're going to be doing, searches.
Okay.
There might be a few things that you want to add down the road, but don't overwhelm yourself with trying to do something like that right from the get-go. I would definitely focus on.
I was just trying to learn it.
Yeah, no, and I understand that, and I absolutely commend you for that, but But again, don't let that be a block for you going on and just getting that up and running, learning all of the things that you need to learn, and then going in and fiddling with something
Okay.
like that.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Okay, thank you.
All right, so everyone has the app hopefully downloaded onto their computer, onto their phone. Has anyone been using it already? And how have you been using it?
I have been using it for text and calls recording. Like if I wanna call, like I call through the app and it records it after I'm done with calling. And the same thing with texting for like my tasks.
Yes, that's a great feature because you can, right from the phone call is over, it prompts you on your phone to add a note or add an activity or add a task right there. Quick, fast, done. Everything is fresh in your mind. And you can have it done. That's great. Anyone else? Okay, so I just put in 3 reference links into the chat room. I don't know if most of you have heard of Marty Miller and the 66-day challenge. This is an incredible YouTube page with 66 different videos that walk you through how to use all of command, including your apps. This is definitely something you should bookmark and use as as either training material or as a reference to go back on. I use it constantly, and I send these videos out to our agents all the time. They're short 5 to 8 minute videos on all topics of command. I also put in the link for KW Answers, which you go here and you can type in a question you have, and it will usually pull up an article that will explain to you and walk you through with very good images how to address a certain challenge or learn something that you need to do with your technology. Also, I also put in another YouTube video with Marty Miller command app. He made a mini series of just your new command app and how to use all of the features in your command app. That's exactly how I learned to use the command app, if I watched his videos. They're great videos to watch. I strongly recommend that you all download those and bookmark these for references. And
I'll give you, sorry, I just wanted to give them a little tip of what I do when I'm doing those learning sessions. I actually stream them on my television and sit there with my computer or my phone to go through it. And so it's a nice, easy way to kind of get comfy on your couch and just watch a few of those short videos, but they really are great.
Yep, they are. Now, what I strongly recommend you do is on your consumer app, you should add yourself in as a customer. So put yourself in as a consumer. Don't use your KW email address, use your personal email address. This way you can play around with the app as you're watching the videos and see exactly what the consumer is looking at. You can create searches, you can do all of the things that you need to do. You can click the contact me and it'll call you. You can do all of that by adding yourself into the contacts, into the command app, into the consumer app. You should also do the same thing into command. As a contact, you should add yourself. Now, if you haven't done that, once you add yourself in the consumer app, it will actually automatically upload you into your database in command. And you'll see a little L beside your name. That means it's a lead and it came from your phone. It came from the consumer app. Because having that in there, you can use yourself as a contact, your phone number, your personal email address, while you're doing all of this training. And you don't have to worry about accidentally calling someone. You can do it yourself. You can practice and train on yourself for hours, as many times as you want to do it until you get comfortable and smooth with this, without worrying about sending something to someone that you weren't supposed to do. It's a great learning tool. That's how I learned how to do it, and that's how I teach all of our agents to do it. And it seems to work really well for them. Any questions so far? Everyone has it down on their system, on their phones? All right.
I already did that.
Yep.
Do you want to go back to the command and just talk about that, or?
Yeah, let me just jump into that there. Now, the Command app is a great connection to the computer. Before, we only had the ability to access Command through our laptop. Now you have the ability to access it through your phone. And Command is everything. This is all of your contact information, all of your notes, dates, times, everything you need, appointments, tasks, all of that you have wrapped up into one to make things easier and convenient for you to follow up with people. Again, the app is a single platform for agents, and it can help you with everything from lead generating to database management, organizing necessary tools in one spot. At the same time, the KW app, which is the consumer one, develops relationships and is streamlined for home buying and selling process and connecting agents with the consumer. What's great about this is it's branded to you, the consumer app. So when you share it, they're getting your branded app. So any questions they have, anytime there's a property they're looking at, it says contact agent, it's you. Plus, when they create a search and they're looking at properties, those properties show up in their timeline in Command. So you can actually see what they're doing, what they're looking at. And if they have any questions, they will hit the contact agent and it will notify you directly. Yes, David.
So I'll ask the question that maybe is the awkward question. Of course, there are so many companies, so much technology out there that wants us to sign up and use them. I won't mention any name, but there's probably 10 or 20. What, from your side as a tech guy, is there anything that Command really can't do for beginner agents through whatever 5-10 years that they have to go outside with a different company?
That's a good question. I've been doing real estate for 17 years. I've used a lot of different systems and sites. I'm using Command for 100% of my business. Now, nope, I mean, when you're starting off and using it, it does everything you need it to do.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, people want different, if they're using something different, or it has more bells and whistles and it may look prettier, that's fine, but you're going to be paying $300 a month for it to do almost the same exact things that you're getting for free, or for your monthly dues, which is pennies, that you're getting this in complete platform, apps, websites, contact management, design center, smart plans, a way to track your business on production, campaigns, so you can post on your social media or in your Facebook, paid campaigns that are linked automatically to Facebook that have a maximum and a top priority as far as placement when they set it already because of our relationship with Facebook. It does so much. I would be surprised that people would have to leave for something else. And and it's just a matter of getting completely trained on Command and knowing every bell and whistle that is available. And trust me, they are constantly rolling out new bells and whistles all the time. And if you go to your Command main page in your dashboard, on that page, depending on how you have it set up, on the top, well, it should be on the top right-hand side of your dashboard, there's usually a what's new feature or a product update feature that'll constantly let you know what are the new updates and changes and improvements they're making on Command. So I would definitely stay on top of all that. If you have questions, there's a ton of training and videos that I just posted. And if you still have questions, reach out to your Market Center Tech Trainer. I'm telling you, there's nothing more that we love is when our agents reach out to us and want training and want to learn more on how to utilize the feature. So please take advantage of it. That's what we're here for. Grace.
A while ago, like 2 months ago, I started an advertising on Facebook through Command. And I started getting leads, and I was just watching the videos you just sent, and they guided me how to put them on a smart plan. And I did. And the smart plan, I think, lasted for 14 days. Now the smart plan is over, so no one is sending them any more messages or calls or anything. I have actually 2 questions. First, should I now put them on another smart plan because this one ended, and then add more people when I do more Facebook ads? And the second thing, what I did is I manually moved all those contacts from command to MLS to put them on automatic search. Is there any way I can do it like not just one by one, because it took a very long time to move each and every contact from command to MLS?
Okay, that's a great question, Grace. No, unfortunately, there's no way to have them automatically added to MLS, but you really don't have to do that because inside a command, we have neighborhood nurturers. Now, when you got these leads, have you spoken to any of these leads yet in person or on the phone?
I spoke to all of them. Some of them answered. I spoke to them multiple times. Some of them answered, and I have them as opportunities now on command.
Okay.
And some, most of them did not, honestly.
All right. And did they agree to have you send them property listings for a particular criteria that they gave you?
I just feel like usually, like that's my experience. I feel like I'm just being too much. People don't want to really talk to somebody who's been like getting to them through advertising. They were not very responsive.
Okay, so it's a numbers game when it comes to leads. People always say, oh, I want leads, I want leads. Well, this is leads. When you get them like this and they're responding, they're a lot of work and it takes time. So what I would recommend is you have a smart plan that's set up that sends them emails and also prompts you to reach out to them and have a conversation. You document that conversation in command. You talk to them about if they're interested in, if they are thinking about buying, are they interested in receiving information, property listings? If they're not, you can't send them because you need to get their permission to do so. But after that smart plan runs out, there is one in there you can download. It's a quarterly call plan. It'll prompt you just to give her a phone call every quarter, just checking in, following up with them. Also with Inside Command, especially if it's someone who might be thinking about selling their home, then obviously if you've had that conversation and you kind of know that, you can create up a neighborhood nurture inside of Command. It's also a smart plan that sends them a report, a neighborhood report of specifically their neighborhood, not the entire city or town, but just in their backyard. And this is a great tool. It's a great report. It shows them what's going on. If the house across the street comes on the market, it shows them what it's on the market for. So this is a great tool to use. Instead of putting them in all in MLS, you could just have this as a smart plan, send them out monthly, this report.
And just a tidbit on that, because that requires that you have an address for them.
Yes.
So if they came to you through an ad and you were advertising a property, I would put in the property address, but make sure you tag that's not, somehow you're going to have to create a tag that it's Facebook ad for 123 Main Street. And then they have 123 Main Street. They're going to get a neighborhood nurture based on the property that they initially clicked on. So assuming that's the area they're interested in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you cannot send, you can't put them on a list of automatic emails without their permission. Like, I mean, as far as the MLS search stuff.
Yeah.
Hector, you asked if we needed permission to attach a smart plan. Well, a lot of the smart plans are also information to you as far as to make calls to them and reminders, but it's also as an email to them as well. If they've responded to an ad of yours or to a post of yours, then no, you can add them to a smart plan that checks in with them from time to time, sends them an email or a text message. But you definitely should be at the beginning of that smart plan, you should be reaching out and trying to have a phone conversation with everyone. And then talking to them and getting their additional support and okay to continue to send things. It just works better that way. Then you know exactly what they're looking for. And they're more likely to read it, knowing that you already had a conversation with you than just getting it in the mail and really not knowing, because if they responded to an ad or something you posted on Facebook, they may not associate this mail that you're sending them with you and that ad. It might just be coming into their inbox and they may just be deleting it.
Yeah. So, and there will be, you know, tidbits of learning on command throughout Ignite. So you will learn more, and certainly the resources George gave you, 66 Day is great, just great to get like all the basics down.
I would go to Marty Miller's main site and look at the playlists. He has other playlists of other topics of technology that are absolutely invaluable to go over all of your technology. And again, reach out to your Market Center tech trainer. That's what we're here for. That's what they want, to talk to you and to teach you and to train you to utilize these systems and technology at the highest level possible. All right. What's up next? Oh, okay. Yep. Your success systems. 10 posts. This is really important. They say an average of, I think it's like 5 or 6 words when you respond to a post gets you a higher recognition when you're responding to people's posts and ads. So to build your relationships out there, when you see your customers and clients on there and they're posting things, you should respond. This is going to build your relationship with them. It's going to connect you with them. They're going to see you responding to them, and it's going to help with top of mind. And just don't like it. Just don't hit the thumb up one or the heart one. Write something, at least 5 or 6 words. Write something in their comment section, and you'll be surprised on how much activity and interaction you'll get with them when they start seeing that. I mean, you can also like while you're doing it, you know, put an emoji. Using emojis are great when you're responding as well too. But you definitely want to be reaching out and commenting on at least 10 posts a day. And you want to write 5 comments a day. I'm sorry. So that was a like. So liking 10 posts a day and then writing 5 comments a day. And in those comments, you want to make sure they're at least 5 to 6 words long. Using emojis is great. Again, as I was saying, it makes people respond more and appreciate the comments even more. And then send 1 direct message a day. Just going through the post and direct message someone a question or a comment about what they just posted keeps you connected with them and helps you stay top of mind. And then when they're thinking about real estate down the road, they're going to think of you.
Yeah. What a simple thing to do for anybody who does use social media at all. You know, it's not hard because we're looking on it anyway. So why not make sure when we have people that we really want to be top of mind, that we're making sure that we are liking their posts, that we're commenting on their posts, and that if you see something, you know, interesting or whatever, you know, they tried a new restaurant that you've been dying to try, you can make a comment on that, but then you could send them a direct message and say, hey, we should go there sometime, you know, and then you've got an actual meeting with that person. You know, there's a lot of ways to use that in a very simplified, again, grassroots type way, not making it, who do I pay to do all my social posts for me? Who do I do, you know, just doing something really simple like this on your daily success system is super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're posting yourself, you should be on social media, not just your business page, which is where you should be posting all of your real estate related items, but also your personal page, posting things that you're doing. People will respond to you. When you respond back to them, be engaging, ask questions, show interest. It really will have a big difference when you're building those relationships, because then when they're thinking about real estate, it won't even be a thought. It'll automatically be you. They'll open up their phone and your number will be the one they're going to go to, because you've built that relationship with them. You show that you're a personality. You're not just a business person. You care, you engage. You have things going on in your life that they can connect with as well. So, and we all know that. We all know that we like to respond to people who have things going on and have similar interests. We're more likely to talk to them or respond to them than we are to someone we just hear from once every 3 months when they send you a football calendar or something like that in the mail. You're building these relationships with your people, and this will grow your business for years to come.
Yeah. And just a simple thing as we're talking about this, make sure when you're meeting people and you're actually engaging in conversation with them and developing a relationship with them, look for them on Facebook, look for them on Instagram, and request their friendship, send a friend request, because that's how they start to get to know you, and a lot of people will accept friend requests from people they barely know, but they know who they are, so it's a really, make sure that you're requesting to become friends with them when you are working with people or when you're cultivating them.
Yep, great point, Tara. And that have them friend you or friend them, and then have them like your business page. That way they're catching the information you're sending on your professional page, and they're also catching information that you're sending on your personal page.
Can you have someone who is on your friend like on your business page who's not a friend on your personal page?
Yes.
That's okay. That's okay. Yep.
How do you do that? How does someone interact with people via a business page who are not first friends on your personal page? I haven't figured out how to do that.
You want to send them the URL link to your business page.
Okay.
So you open up your business page and you copy the link, the URL link at the top, and you send that in an email. And you can actually create marketing pieces that have that as well as a link, and just sending out to people to like your business page. Or you can just email it to them and say, please like my business page, and they'll click on the link. It'll come to your business page. They just have to click the like button there, and then they'll start seeing your posts.
You see it all the time. Like us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. You see it all the time. Just use that.
Thank you.
Jack.
On Facebook, there's also a tool to invite people who, as soon as you add them as a friend, you can send an invite. They'll get it in their notifications, and they can just accept that right away and like the page and follow it.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, you're right. And when you're creating that, when you're creating a business page for the first time, and make sure you create a business page, not just another personal page that you're customizing. It has to be a business page. And when you create that business page, there's actually a section there that tells you, that actually asks you to send an invite to all of your friends, because you may have 3,000 friends. Well, you want to send that like link to all of your friends so that they're going to like it as well. So any questions, any other questions about social media, Command, the apps, anything that we've just talked about? Okay. Let's see, what's next?
Okay. So we're kind of coming on to putting this all together. Studying your market center reports, previewing homes, taking your MLS courses, visiting and holding open houses, studying the lore, which is the language of real estate, what's going on in the market, reading the real estate, the Millionaire Real Estate, the MREA, and what else? So what we want to do at this time is to break into groups, and we're going to give you 5 minutes. And in your group, I want you guys to talk about what are ways that you can preview homes, know homes, so that you can say, yes, I was in that home. What are ways that you can go and preview homes, like open houses are the obvious. But what are some other ways that you can do that to get to know your market, get to know pricing, especially if you're newer, or get to know a new market that maybe you want to branch out into. You haven't worked there before, or like here in Amesbury, obviously a lot of us are licensed, dual licensed for New Hampshire and Massachusetts. And I'm sure many of you are in the similar situation. So what are the ways we can get out, start previewing homes? What are some of the things that we can do when we're previewing those homes to show that we're neighborhood experts? Think about things with social media, etc. So let's just break into groups and just brainstorm on what are some cool things that you could do to
Can I
really.
ask?
What's that?
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we're going to break into a few groups. We'll give you 5 minutes. And Stephen, did you have a question before we?
Yes, I had a quick question. I've been going to open houses in my area quite often, and just to be conversant with inventory. And I was wondering, is it ethical to engage people as an agent there? If you see a couple looking around and you're talking to them, can you say, by the way, I am a real estate agent?
No.
Okay,
That
I
is
haven't
a
done it, but I was
bad-
wondering. Yeah.
Yeah. Do not go to open houses to pick up buyers. That
I
is,
know it
that's-
wasn't my purpose to pick up buyers, but I've
Yeah.
been checking out the inventory and I was wondering if it was ethical to do so, but it's not, I guess.
it's really not. I would never do that.
Okay.
They would have to chase me down the street after I left and say, hey, we really like you, da da da. You can certainly be wearing your name badge, and if somebody asks you a question, you can say, I'm not the listing agent. Here's the listing agent. But you can identify yourself as a realtor, and you certainly want to do that when you walk in anyway.
I do. I give them my card when I walk in. Yeah.
But I would definitely not engage in a conversation about working with somebody at someone else's open house, not unless you're involved in the open house itself.
Okay. Good to know.
So let's break out into this group for 5 minutes because we're about ready to kind of wrap everything up. But I'd love for you guys to brainstorm some fun things that maybe you guys can start doing right away. That you can implement into your marketing and add another way to know your market. You ready, George?
Yep. Let me just see, open all rooms.
Maybe it's like minutes, real quick. So each group you want to go ahead and kind of grab one of your best ideas.
So everyone should be seeing having a choice pop up on their screen.
Don?
It's funny, it didn't,
Some people may not be in front of their screen.
yeah, it didn't give me a place to put in a time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wonder if that's a manual thing to close all.
Not usually, because usually at the end it'll count down.
Yeah, it didn't give me a spot for that.
That's all right. So
I'm just tracking it. I can send them a message and then I can. And then there's a button here that says close all rooms, which
yeah,
I'm hoping that
you can
pulls
do
it
a
back.
broadcast voice to the breakout rooms by holding B.
Yeah, there's a button right here I can hit and just type something.
Yeah. Yeah, almost out of time, so
Yeah.
I didn't print out the whole thing. What do we have next?
Recap.
Okay,
Yeah. So we went over everything. This is just a
Yeah.
recap of everything. So we're good.
yeah. So
So,
one more minute.
well, if we want for 5, yeah, it's like 2 more minutes for that. I just put your information in the chat room again, along with mine.
Oh, okay, thanks.
It's funny, I have like 5 screens open.
Yeah, let's close out, yeah, let's close out the chats just so we can get them to give us the shared ideas
All right.
or close out the rooms.
Oh, see, that gives 60 seconds. I don't think there's a timeline that we can set, but once we
Oh.
send that message, it gives them 60 seconds.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all right. It's good to learn something new every day.
I know.
I got kicked out of the group, not sure why.
Yeah, everybody should be back now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does it look like we're all back in, George?
Now, there's 34 people in here. Doesn't indicate, I don't see any indication that people are
Okay.
still in the room. So I think everyone who's back is back.
Okay, so can we hear some ahas and great ideas of what you guys came up with? Somebody go first here.
So in my group, we were speaking about different ways to kind of interact with our market, and I spoke specifically more about how I'm more in touch with like the social media posts, and I will go and just repost things that I see from like the Keller Williams Legacy partners posting on their page, and I'll just put those up, whether it's like quick facts or just talking about how the market is currently. So one that I posted the other day was just speaking about how many transactions or how many houses sold last year, and I think the stats broke it down to about like a quarter of the sales involved the Keller Williams agent. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that was just something I posted, and it sparked a couple conversations and stuff like that.
Awesome, that's excellent, excellent. And anyone else regarding previewing homes or things that you can do to show your market?
Virtual tours.
Yeah. Yep. I'll just expand on that, KB, because that's a great idea. When you're at an open house, you can always talk to the agent and say, hey, do you mind if while I'm here, I just videotape and show people, you know, a couple of cool features on the home. And you can either do Facebook Live, or you could just record yourself and, you know, hey guys, I'm here at 123 Main Street, and this is such a cool house. This is the open house. As you can see, it's kind of busy, but certainly if you want to take a peek at it, I can schedule a private showing for you. Look at this pool, look at this yard, whatever. Really cool social post.
I like
Anyone
that idea
else?
with the phone.
Yeah. Someone else?
I didn't realize you could do that. Go into a house and take a video and then post.
You have to ask permission.
Okay.
Yeah. Just ask permission. So it's easiest to do with you know, listings from your office, but you know, you can do it anywhere. Broker opens are good ones to do it at because they're not as busy and they're more preview. So look for broker open houses. One of our mentees, did anyone come up with look for vacant houses and schedule showings? So you can always look for a property that's vacant on Lockbox. If you see something, it might be an investment opportunity for someone. Call the agent, say, hey, listen, I'd just like to go and preview it. And they should give you the lockbox. So that's a way to get in and start to know the properties. Anything else?
One of the tips I had that I shared with my group was making it a habit to log into the MLS every day. So whether you make it part of your morning routine, you have a cup of coffee and log in. I mean, you don't have to spend more than 5-10 minutes, but you may want to pull up the hot sheets. You may want to, you know, have a list of buyers that you want to double check if a new listing is coming up in a certain town or zip code. You may want to just check and see if anything has been entered in the MLS. And you can either do it in the morning before you get ready, or you can do it at night, you know, when you're getting ready to review your next day and kind of check that out, but make it a habit to log into your MLS, all the acronyms, right?
Yeah.
Every day. And, you know, even if it's just for a few moments, because you'd be surprised at how much stuff sneaks on there every day and you have no idea wasn't there the day before. Oh, somebody just put login. I log in at least 3 times a day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have, you know, when I open up my Chrome, it's MLS pin, my email, my 411, those things come up automatically, and I just end my calendar and I just work my way across those tabs for what I'm gonna, you know, what I kind of got to do to start my day.
You know,
So-
videos really do work. I post when I go show houses with clients, I tell them, oh my goodness, like interesting features like staircases, or if they have something interesting, I just take a short video and I just share, and people always react to cute videos. They love us, whether it's in a unique piece of furniture. I just share. People love videos of my renovations as well. So I think videos do work. So if there's anything you can do, just start with that. That's easy. Everybody does videos.
Yeah, videos are great. They're great way to get people to engage. So out of respect for your time, it is 11:34. I am willing to stick around for another 5 minutes or so if anybody has questions, but we've covered all of this. Make sure you look in your participant guide again, identifying your characteristics of your market, as well as identifying who you are on social media. How do you want to portray yourself on social media and brand yourself that way? Make sure that you follow up with your success system, making your 10 contacts, personal notes, adding 10 people to your database. Try to make that, no, not try, do make that a daily habit during your workday, and make sure you have that scheduled, blocked for whatever works for you, and make it work, because you will definitely be successful. All right.
Also,
And-
I put Tara's and my contact information in the chat. I did see a question, Hector had a question. Do you still have to ask for permission to do a video and post if it's an agent preview? Yes, if you're gonna be posting the house on your Facebook page, trying to get leads from it or letting people know about it to call you, to ask you for information, yes. You definitely want to do that. It's a respect thing. You're going to want to build that relationship with that agent. You don't want to be showing and advertising his listing and making it seem like it's your listing and you're advertising it. So now if you were doing just looking at the staircase and you're just showing this cool feature of a house and you really weren't marketing the house and saying, call me about the house, that'd be different. Or if you were doing a preview for your client, you were just going to send them the video and that was it, then no, you wouldn't need to ask permission. But if you're going to post it on your page to generate activity on there, yes, as a courtesy and a professional courtesy, you definitely want to call them and get permission to do so.
And it is actually, I know an MLS regulation, when you are advertising somebody else's listing, and this goes for all, all the VOW, if you go to any website, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, whatever, your realtor.com, you're always going to find an attribution to who the actual listing brokerage is. And so when you're doing something like, hey, I'm here at 123 Main Street. This is a great property listed by Jenny at Coldwell Banker. And I'm going to show you some cool features. Just say it. Just say it and move on. And then at the end, it's, if you guys are interested in checking this out, I'd love to show it to you. Doom. So make sure you CYA. Anyone know what that means? Cover your, what. I'm not going to say it because this is official KW stuff. I don't want to be out of culture, but make sure it's better to ask for permission rather than breaking down relationships that you don't want to break down. Okay.
There you go, David. Cover your assets.
There you go. Cover your assets. That's right.
Ashley, you have a question?
I have a really quick question. Yes. What are the general rules of giving like a sneak peek at an upcoming listing? Because I think we're not allowed to post the address until it's on the MLS. Can we go over the little tidbit really quickly?
Yep. So sneak peek or coming soon is an official status in multiple listing. And you must make it official if you are going to start advertising or placing a sign in the yard. That is the rule. Okay. You can be fined if you stick a sign in the yard and it is not in MLS within, I believe, 24 hours. So when you're getting a listing, you have 21 days to pre-market that listing, to have it as a coming soon listing. A sneak peek can be a sneak peek by showing them photos, but it cannot be you're letting somebody in and you're doing a showing. So you cannot officially show the house until it's available for all agents to show. But coming soon, you can advertise. That allows you to advertise on social media. So I think coming soon is a great tool because you've got it in MLS, even though it doesn't feed out to anything. It's not going to be on realtor.com. It's not going to be on RE/MAX site. It's not going to be on Zillow. But you yourself are safe and legal to advertise this on Facebook. And you can say, not in MLS, or, sneak peek, coming soon, not yet on the market, whatever, and get your leads so that when that property comes on the market, you've actually got your own buyers lined up, ready to get in.
Got it. So, I mean, if I were to share, if I get a listing and we don't plan on even listing until a couple weeks down the road, can I show the house and give the general area? Like again, a video on social media,
You
like
have
here's
to
the
do the
house,
coming soon.
it's in Hampton.
It's coming
Um,
soon paperwork. You must. Are you talking about you want to promote it and it's coming soon paperwork that you have to do?
Okay, but
once you
like no
start
sign in
advertising.
front, just like, again, like casual social media post kind of thing. Like, here's the room, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Hampton, coming soon. If you have anybody interested in thing like that, let me know. But again, not planning on listing for another couple weeks kind
Well,
of thing.
I mean, at that point, if you're not planning on listing for another couple of weeks, why not do the coming soon listing information? And you can give out the address or not. I mean, the sellers may not want any drive-bys because they've got a big dumpster in the front. So they don't want you giving out, but why not do the coming soon to expose it? And then you're just covered. If it's because you have 3 weeks and then it'll automatically upload to MLS. But, I mean, we all do a little, here's a picture coming soon. But that usually is meant for internal. Once you start externally advertising a listing, it should be available to realtors to see, at least on the MLS, is coming soon.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
If we have time, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Okay, it's going back to whether it's a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. A buyer's market is more than 7 months inventory. A seller's market is less than 5 months inventory. How do you determine how many months inventory you have? What's the criteria?
It's how many properties are on the market and how many properties are being sold per month. So how many properties are on the market right now and how many were sold? So if 5 houses are selling per month in a particular price range and there are 15 active listings, that's 3 months of inventory. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And that is called absorption rate. You might hear it named that often in your reports, it'll show you absorption rate and it'll tell you. So right now, most of ours are like, we have 0 month in inventory, but that's what that is. So we have time for one more question. Anyone? Okay. Thank you guys so much for being with us today. We hope you learned a lot. And good luck in the rest of your sessions with Ignite and with your business. Make sure you know your market.
Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tara and George. Have a great day.
You too.
You too. Thank you.